Thanks, Councillor DeGenova. And before I go back to Councillor Reimer, I had a question and my comments. And first, I'll start with a question. Just wanted to update in terms of ongoing conversations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And last time I was asked the question, just where are we at with our discussions with BC Housing? So happy to update. We have been back and forth, and there's clearly an interest. I think it was announced at your press conference from the community, and we are doing what we can to work with BC Housing, and we will engage with CMHC and the feds to try to get there. And from what I've seen from the pro forma, the gap isn't as significant as we've feared it could be. We need to understand what the operating impact would be over the life of the building, but we will continue to pursue that actively, and we'll keep you posted. As Ms. Bond indicated, there's plenty of places where we'll be coming back to check in with council. So we're going to be pushing this as hard as we can, and we'll be engaging with our partners at the province and the federal government to try to get that.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I will I'll just speak first strongly in support of the recommendations before council. I think what's before us is an unprecedented opportunity to enable a large building, 231 homes, and a brand new community health facility to be built in the downtown east side, which is a breakthrough given the challenges we've faced, particularly in the downtown east side for many years now. This building does represent, I think, a turning point, and what's proposed before council is the basic framework for the building that will be there with council's approval here today, and the possibility of very deep affordability for members of the community who live there. That possibility is a work in progress, and I'll start by thanking our city manager and thanking our whole staff for their work to bring us to this point. It's been an accelerated timeline, faster than almost any other project can move through the process. It's large and complicated, and we have many partners involved, given its housing and healthcare and community facilities all co-located. So this is an extraordinary project, and it deserves that kind of extraordinary treatment, and I think our staff have done an amazing job at bringing this forward, giving us the opportunity to achieve something that's never been achieved before, to my knowledge. So big thanks to you all, and thanks to council for what I'm hearing is strong support for where we are to date. This would not be happening without the great support of the Vancouver Chinatown Foundation, Ms. Carol Lee, and the many generous donors, the staff, and volunteers who've been supporting the Vancouver Chinatown Foundation to grow and fundraise and be a strong partner, a very significant partner when we compare this to many other social housing or affordable housing buildings. They're coming in at really amazing scale, as well as the BC government, Vancouver Coastal Health, and BC Housing are already at the table with unprecedented scale of investment as well. So I'm heartened to see the amount of commitment to date, and Councillor Reimer, thank you for moving this and speaking to the significant commitments that are already on the table that put us in I think, really strong position to continue to make this a really amazing success story. We're not there yet, and in my last conversations with Minister Robinson, who's, I think, been a strong champion for affordable housing in her role as minister, and Minister Darcy as well, we talked about the importance of buildings like this, a really difficult situation on affordability for many people in the community. And I'm hopeful that those talks will continue, that we'll be able to attract funding from the federal government. They are not at the table yet, but we've had some investments from them historically in some projects. Given their priorities right now, I'm hopeful that we could see some investment there. And I'm very confident that we're going to close this gap. We're not done yet. I think the community's been loud and clear since August of 2016 that 100% at welfare and pension rates is the goal. And that certainly continues to be my commitment. Our decision today just advances us farther along and enables us to finalize those agreements to achieve that 100%. And I'm hopeful we can do that in the coming months. We've seen great commitments from other partners to date, and I think we've got a really good opportunity to close that gap in the months ahead and make sure we can do that. So a big thanks to the community for their relentless advocacy, their passionate support to make sure this gets to 100%. And you know, we've taken lots of flack for not delivering yet, taken lots of flack for not solving all the problems that we face on our streets, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the fact that we have raised the bar continuously over and over to address affordable housing beyond any other city in Canada. The problem is still a big one for us. So we've got more to do. We can't slow down. We can't back off. We got to keep stepping up. And I appreciate the community's pressure to do that. It comes from, I think, a really honest and passionate place to make sure that people are looked after, have a place to live here in Vancouver, despite all the pressure and growth that we faced as a city. So I want to thank members of the community for coming out and speaking, and for continuing to keep the pressure on our council and our staff and other levels of government to make sure we deliver. So with that,